Hello there, welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another Pen Resurrection Sunday video. Today I'm revisiting one of the first restorations on a fountain pen that I've ever done. This is a 1954 Parker Aerometric fountain pen, ballpoint and pencil set that belonged to my friend Ron's late father Dennis. I knew Dennis and he was a lovely man and very much missed by those that knew and loved him. This wasn't much of a restoration really. The pen worked, it just needed some cleaning and TLC. And you can see that video that I did by clicking right up here. Take the Aerometric out of the beautiful case. And recently an Inkquiring Minds fan sent me a message about an adapter that was available to convert a Parker 51 Aerometric into a cartridge converter pen. Now my friend Ron, like many of us, suffers from arthritis in his hands and fingers, so filling a fountain pen has been an increasing challenge for him. He is now using pens that are exclusively cartridge fillers. I asked Ron's permission to convert this Aerometric into a cartridge pen using that adapter so that he could write with his dad's fountain pen again, and he said yes. He's a good man. So I ordered the adapter, two actually, and here they are. One is for the earlier models of Aerometrics like this one, the Mark I from the 1950s, and one is for Parker 51 specials or other than 1950s Aerometrics. So put that one aside because this is the one we need to work with. As you can see, it's a turned brass adapter. Now I've already disassembled this Aerometric and tried the conversion up to a certain point to make sure I was doing it correctly. I corresponded with the eBay seller before and after purchasing and receiving them, and he was very helpful. Here is the eBay item and seller in case you're interested in doing this conversion yourself. The converters are made in India of solid brass, and there are two pieces here that are already pre-assembled when you receive them. The internal piece, which you might be able to see down there as a little tube, is called the piercing tube, and that's the part that pierces the top of a cartridge when you insert it. So before we get to that conversion, let's take a look at this 1954 Parker 51 Aerometric in its original condition. It has a pearlescent top jewel, a gorgeous gold-filled cap with tapering courses of vertically engraved lines, and a sleek arrow clip. The barrel is a lovely burgundy color. The cap slips off, and we see the clutch ring and the tapering burgundy shell and the hooded 14-karat gold nib. By 1954, there were no imprints on the top of the barrel, so no date codes on the outside of the pen. The nib will have a date code on it. Let's disassemble the Parker 51 Aerometric to see its parts. The barrel unscrews, and this is traditionally how you fill this pen. We see the stainless steel sack protector, which says, to fill, press ribbed bar firmly 4 times. Use dry writing superchrome ink, holding pen point down, wipe point with soft tissue. The Parker Pen Company, made in the USA. A lot of information. And of course the idea was you held the pen down in the ink and you gave it a press on that bar right there, and it squeezes that plyglass, what Parker called plyglass. It's a plastic transparent tube several times, and it sucks ink up into that sack because of the filler tube inside. To remove this filling system from that nipple, heat is required, but fortunately we don't have to do that because the brass adapter replaces that entire plastic nipple unit. The shells on the Aerometric are fixed and sealed to the nipple and need to be heated off. I used a heat gun, but you have to be careful not to overheat it to the point the plastic deforms. I just kept heating it with my heat gun and rotating it, and then trying it every so often with some gripper material to see if it would budge. As it heated up, I would dip it in some cool water, let it cool down, dry it off, and then heat again. And that heating and contraction breaks that seal. Soaking the pen in some pen flush in an electrosonic cleaner helps break up any old ink in the collector that can act as an adhesive as well. So this is already easily removable. So I remove that shell, and there we see the ink collector, the nib, and the feed. The nib and collector assembly pulls out of the nipple, just like that, and you can see the aluminum breather tube that is attached to the feed on the inside. These were later replaced with smaller plastic breather tubes, and by using some gripping material I can grab the nib and give it a pull, and you get the nib and the collector and the feed and the breather tube together. And let's get a closer look at this nib. And we've got some date codes on here. And this nib says, I'll have to use my loop. It says Parker, made in Canada, 14K, 1954. So you might be able to read that, I'm not sure. Parker, made in Canada, 14K on this side, and 1954 in a light imprint on that side. If we go back to the filler tube, you can see that there's an O-ring right there that needs to be removed. And you have to be careful with this to make sure you don't nick that O-ring. But I get a pair of tweezers and get up underneath that O-ring like that and just rotate it off. And there's your ring, and that allows the clutch ring to come off. And there are your component parts of an Aerometric Parker 51. All of these parts can be cleaned in pen flush in an electrosonic cleaner. And the 14 karat gold nib can be polished using a jewelry cloth. And now that we have the pen in pieces, we can replace the Aerometric filler with the brass converter by putting the nib unit into it and screwing everything back together again. So here's the converter. We would place the clutch ring on first, and then the O-ring that helps seal that unit from leaking. This is the nozzle end. This is where the cartridge will go in. This is the end where the nib and feed will go. And so we can put the nib back on the feed, line it up, get some gripper material so it doesn't slip, and put that back into the collector. We find the wide space. There's a wide space right there and a narrow space. Find the wide one, and the underside of the nib goes right there. And we give it a push until it doesn't go anymore. Check the alignment. Looks pretty good. And then we can put that whole unit inside the adapter. And we press it down. There. Now that's all together. The only problem is the breather tube is too long to use with the cartridge. The eBay description of the converter says to cut, quote, by 2.7 centimeters. Now, I asked for clarification about what this meant. I was told that the breather tube needs to be cut so it doesn't extend beyond the piercing tube. That's that tube down on the inside. So 2.7 centimeters is not going to do it, and I didn't know whether to take it from that end or that end. I don't know. So I think the idea is that breather tube needs to not extend beyond that piercing tube on the inside of that nozzle. So we need to trim this breather tube. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on that breather tube with an X-Acto blade just to give it an etch. Check it, make sure I made a mark. Yep. So I've made an etching mark right at the end of the nozzle. And then I'm going to use my digital calipers because they have a depth gauge on the one side, and I'm going to measure the depth of that piercing tube. Just to be accurate, I'm going to remove the nib unit and set this down to do it absolutely accurately. And I get exactly 9 millimeters. You take where I scored this, which is right there, and I'm going to measure back exactly 9 millimeters and score it again. Actually, I'm going to add a 0.5 millimeter. Very finicky. There we go. 0.5 millimeter. So that the piercing tube is proud of the breather tube by a 0.5 millimeter. So the breather tube doesn't ever come in contact with the top of a cartridge when you're piercing it. That might damage the breather tube. Just going to score it all the way around. Make sure I've got a good mark. Yep. And I'm going to cut that using my Dremel tool. And there we are. I've cut it off, and I sanded down the burred edges and put a needle into the tube all the way just to make sure there were no blockages. So that's nice and clear now. And now we can put this back in the brass nozzle as far as it will go. And it should not extend beyond that piercing tube, and it appears not to. That's good. And now we can put the shell back on and line up that nib. So there's the nib there. It's got to be there. So I've marked it with my thumb. Drag it around, put it back on tight, and it is perfectly lined up. Yeah, that's all solid. Now this can go back on the end of the pen, and the conversion is complete. Now all we need to do is add a Parker cartridge and see if it pierces, and it does. So I'm going to put that cartridge in, and we're going to let this sit like this and let that ink drain down, and then we're going to test this pen to make sure it works. Fingers crossed. And now I let the ink run down into the collector, so I should be able to write with it now. And let's see what we've got. This is a Parker 51 Aerometric, but it is no longer an Aerometric. It is a cartridge converter. There we go. And it has a 14 karat gold medium nib. Let's check the wetness. It's not too bad. Very smooth, a good deal of feedback, a typical Parker 51. And now it's much, much easier to fill. So hopefully Ron will be able to write with his dad's pen again. At least I hope so. I know I'm very pleased, and I can bet that Dennis would be very pleased as well if his son gets to write with his pen again. So I'm going to have to get more of those adapters. I know I might have to use this on one of the more modern Parker 51 Aerometrics. Aerometrics have not been my favorite, mostly because that filler is sharp on the fingers, and it's a real pain to pump. And what's worse is having to clean these things. You have to sit over a glass of water or over a sink and pump it for all day Sunday.
And we are here to pump you up.
Not something I care to do. So I've always preferred the Vacuumatic. Here's a 1947 made in Canada Parker 51 Vacuumatic with the pump. I have not restored this pen yet. It's got some tarnishing on it, but it looks like it has a really nice nib. So we'll take this pen apart and fix it maybe next week. You'll see that on Pen Resurrection Sunday next week. But I do prefer the Vacuumatics, but now that we've got this adapter, and the adapter, I paid $30 Canadian for two of them, including shipping. So that's dirt cheap for a small part, and the conversion is almost simple. So I might have to start looking at purchasing some first generation Parker 51 Aerometrics and see about restoring them with that converter option. Let me know in the description below if you'd be interested in purchasing an Aerometric that was a cartridge converter that was easy to fill and a beautiful writer and have that classic feel of a Parker 51, which is arguably one of the best fountain pens ever made in the world. Let me know if that would be of interest to you. It might be of interest to me. And there you have it. And as always, thank you for watching. Oh, that's nice. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.